garden style. So today I thought I would go over a few plants that I have hauled back home and go over a few of them with you just to give you an idea what some of the new and old varieties that are available out there, some of which are actually my favorites. So to start with, I thought I would start with the sun-loving plants, and this is a beautiful specimen that I just found at the nursery, and this is called a they call it a bridal wreath spirea, and I have actually seen these in front of some really old homes, and this shrub can actually get quite large. This can get 8 foot by 8 foot. So if you have a big huge space in a nice sunny spot that you would like a beautiful flowering shrub in, this is by far the shrub to get. And I'll give you a close-up of the tag here, but the spireas are a deciduous shrub, but in the early to mid-spring, they just get coated in white blooms to the point where you can hardly see the leaves on the shrub. These are extremely hardy, and they don't require a whole lot of fuss. Once you get them established after the first year, they pretty much take off on their own. Now you can keep these trimmed, but this is one of those shrubs that kind of has this beautiful kind of fountain effect to it. And they're just drop-dead gorgeous once they're covered in their blooms. And the bridal wreath spireas have been around for a long time. And this particular variety, what do they call it, is Renaissance. And found this at the nursery, and it was a must-have because I have a big, huge, sunny place that I want to place this. But they're just beautiful, and it gets all these teeny weeny little white flowers, but there's so many of them that you can hardly see the shrub. So I highly recommend this shrub. They say this particular one is good through, let's see if I can find the zone on this thing, from zone 4 to zone 10. That covers a wide gamut, so you're pretty safe with this. Always recommend putting it in a nice, rich, loamy soil to start off with, and by all means make sure it has really good drainage. But they're super easy to take care of after the first year once they've gotten established, and you can just step back and just watch it put on some growth. So a really excellent shrub as far as that's concerned. So he'll be going in the ground soon. And this shrub is kind of like a mini cousin of the bridal wreath spirea. This one is called Little Princess, and she's just adorable right now. And she actually gets coated in a lot of pale pink flowers, just coated on the top. And this is a very small specimen, but won't be small for very long. And this particular variety doesn't get quite as big as he does. He gets about 2 to 3 feet as far as the spread is concerned, and maybe 4 to 5 feet high. So it's a good sized shrub, but just cute as can be. And again, I'll give you a close-up of the tag so you can get an idea of what they look like when they're in full bloom. And this one will actually bloom a little later in the summer, and I will have these two stationed out in my front yard. So one will bloom now, probably in the next couple of weeks, and will stay in bloom for a good 3 to 4 weeks. That's how long it takes them to actually lose their blooms. And then this guy will actually take over after that and just get coated in these beautiful pink blooms. So absolutely love spireas, just due to the fact that they're very drought tolerant. Once they're established, I always tell people, it may say drought tolerant, but that doesn't mean you not water it. It does require some water, but not as much after the first year. And by all means, when you're planting shrubs like this, you want to make sure they stay real watered, and just keep a real close eye on them during their first year while they're in the ground. But then after that, they can pretty much take care of themselves. So 2 beautiful flowering shrubs for the summer. What other varieties can I show you? This is a shrub that I've had really good luck with. This is called a Lavatera. This particular one gets these gorgeous, beautiful, deep pink blooms. It's almost like a hibiscus kind of a look to it. This is another plant that is very drought tolerant. In fact, they prefer it on the dry side once they're established, but you can see this one's already got some big beautiful buds on it. And I trim the heck out of these every spring, and I had one in the old house that I lived in, and I absolutely loved it and was determined to get another one. And you can get these in lavender, you can get them in light pink, you can get them in a fuchsia pink. But again, this is another fabulous shrub. It's very low maintenance once it gets established. And this one, let's see, for hardiness, yeah, this is good down to 0 degrees to 10 degrees Fahrenheit, and very drought tolerant. So it does really well, especially up here in the Northwest. Just make sure it has very good drainage. They do prefer a drier environment, and of course full sun. And this guy, I didn't even tell you guys how big he gets. This gets about 4 foot by 4 foot. So this is another excellent deciduous shrub that I'm super excited to plant. And when they come out and bloom, you can spot them like a mile away. So another great variety, another favorite of mine for sunny gardens. Here's another fantastic plant. This is called a Euphorbia. And right now he's got his little blooms, but it's not necessarily the blooms that are significant. It's actually this beautiful foliage. As you can see, he's variegated. It's got these beautiful variegated leaves, and the new growth kind of comes out in these auburn type of colors. So I love planting these in the spring and the summer just because they have these cute little lacy type flowers that grow on them. But these will carry you through all the way through the fall as well. And I love to combine these with other plants with these types of colors in them. And you know, they're just beautiful throughout the entire season. And I always tell folks, when you're out shopping for shrubs and perennials, look for the foliage texture first before you start thinking about the flowers. Because as we know, not everything flowers all the time, and it's the foliage that you're going to be looking at most of the time. So take a look at the foliage first, and the flowers are always an extra bonus. And this is how you can go about mixing textures with each other, and that's what I'm going to teach you how to do as we go through the summer and you watch me plant all these empty spaces that I have in this new yard that I've acquired. But yeah, they're just a great little plant, and just love the foliage on these. These are also extremely drought tolerant. As you can tell, I'm getting ready to plant a really hot, sunny, dry area, which is my front yard. It faces directly southwest. So it gets hammered with the sun after 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So it's getting the hottest part of the day with the hottest part of the sun hitting them later on in the day. But I love euphorbias, and there are so many different varieties of these. So really encourage you guys to get out into the nursery and discover these. They're fantastic. But yeah, this particular one, he gets maybe 2 feet high by 2 feet wide when he's completely grown up. And it doesn't take much water at all once you have them established. So again, especially here in the Northwest where we get lots of rain, make sure he has very good drainage. So some great sunny loving plants. Another plant that I've had excellent luck with in the full sun, this is a Dianthus, and as you can see, it's just loaded with buds right here. And this is called Fire Witch. I planted these in my last property, and they spread like crazy, and without fail they would come back year after year after year. And I remember after planting them, I watered them in, gave them, you know, some really good water during their first year, and I completely forgot about them after that. I didn't have to do anything to them. They just spread and they just did their own thing. And this is another one of those bushy type of perennials that you can actually divide in about 2 or 3 years and spread them around, especially in a real hot, sunny, dry area. Think of these as very similar to like a succulent. They almost take the same kind of conditions when you put them out in the garden. But as you can see, there's a teeny weeny little pink flower he just opened, but then they just get coated with them. And these are the type of plants I like to mass out in a big dry area and just enjoy all the blooms. And they bloom for quite a while, quite a long time, and then they have this gorgeous blue-green foliage, which again is a lovely texture, as you can see, against some of these other plants, to add some more color and texture to your perennial gardens. So another favorite of mine. Okay, so I wanted to move on to the shade. So if you're looking for an awesome shade plant, these are by far one of my favorites. Look at that gorgeous lime green color. Now this is a Hooveria, and they come in so many different colors and varieties nowadays, and they're just awesome as far as care goes. Now this would be perfect to light up a super shady area. If you have a real shady area in your shade garden, they do prefer shade. They can take some sun. In fact, I prefer like partial sun, and that way they get this reddish color. This reddish color will really start to show up in their lime green leaves with just a little bit of sun. Morning sun is perfect for these types of plants, as long as they're not getting that hot heat afternoon sun later on in the afternoons, or filtered shade, and these will do great. They of course require a little more water, and of course in a shade garden that's not as big a deal unless it's a dry shade garden, but they also get these little spiky blooms on them, and they're kind of lacy, and they'll sit, you know, just above where all the foliage is, and they're real easy to cut back once they're done blooming. But it's the foliage I was after. They're just gorgeous, just a gorgeous color. And then I bought this one, which is also a Hooveria. Look at that color. Look at these two together. Look how they just accent each other. It's just gorgeous. This is what makes gardening so much fun. So this particular Hooveria, or coral bells, some people call them, is called Amber Lady. But look at that drop-dead gorgeous color. So when you got a lot of green going on, it's always nice to put in some red, especially if you combine them with a lime green companion like this. And of course they both take the same kind of conditions. And I don't think I told you what the lime green was. I'll turn this around here. This is a cute name. This is called Gold Zebra Hooveria. So look those up in your nursery. What a fabulous plant. I'm so excited. Can't wait to get those planted. Another fantastic shade plant that I hauled home today. This is called a Brunera, and it has these beautiful silver leaves which really stand out in the shade garden. And the bonus is they're early spring blooming flowers. These beautiful, like little periwinkle blue flowers on the ends here. And this one's just getting started. Now Bruneras, this particular variety, which is called Silver Heart, this has actually won quite a bit of awards, just due to the fact that it's very hardy. It just has a really beautiful growth habit to it. And it says here that it can get up to 12 inches high, so you know, it gets about like this, and about 12 to 15 inches wide. It just makes a beautiful little perennial, like shrublet, I like to call them. And usually I place these in the front of the shade garden. This one, as well as the Hooverias, are really good plants to place on the border, the outside borders of your shade gardens. But another favorite of mine, I have 3 of them out here already, and I just wanted to add some more and kind of mass them out, because man, do they make a statement when you put them in the shade garden, and they just stand out. You can see these from clear across the yard with their silver type leaves. So another beautiful, beautiful plant for the shade. So that is, I do believe, oh, I have one more hiding back here that I wanted to show you guys. This is made for the sun, and this is your old-fashioned wallflower, okay? This is for full sun, and I love this one. It's called Bowles Mauve Wallflower, and these have been around forever and a day. But if you're not familiar with them, I just thought I would bring them to your attention. First of all, what a gorgeous plant. It's in just excellent shape, and he's getting ready to bloom. And the cool thing I love about this particular plant is it will bloom its little heart out all summer long. So again, I like to get mileage out of my plants. So it'll have big, beautiful spikes that sit up against its foliage, and this is kind of a blue-green foliage as well. So this is something you can set back into your flower bed, and according to this tag, this guy will get at least 30 inches tall by 24 inches wide. So that's like a small shrub, and that's what I love about these things, is they will take up space and give you color all summer long without stop. So definitely had to get a couple more of these. Had some already, and I'm all about massing them out and making a big statement in the garden. But a lot of these plants you're going to see coming up in my future videos as I show you how to design garden beds with some of these gorgeous perennials. And the neat thing is they just come back year after year after year without you having to replace them. So they're definitely worth the investment to start off with. So there you go. That's kind of the beginning of my plant haul. But I wanted to share some of these with you. And sorry I haven't been with you guys this past week. I've definitely had some technical difficulties regarding my equipment. I had to go out and get some new equipment so that I can bring some more of these videos to you, but here I am. And tomorrow I have a whole nother plant haul that we're going to go over, and then I'm going to get into showing you how to build containers. Not only containers, but hanging baskets as well. I have a very unique fluffy fuchsia basket that I'm going to show you tomorrow, unlike anything you have ever seen before, and you will absolutely love it. It'll be to die for. Alright you guys, I appreciate you tuning in to Garden Style. By all means, sign up on the email. I'm going to start sending out weekly newsletters, of course the plant finds that I've been finding, and of course the latest tips, tricks, and trends on how you can maintain your garden and keep your hands dirty and enjoy doing it. So thanks again. You can visit my website at www.gardenstylenw.com, and you're going to start to see more and more information showing up there on my website. I appreciate you tuning in, and we'll talk again soon. Bye for now.